What's up, you guys? This is Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion, and welcome back to another video. So we're back for part 2 of the last season of The Crown, and today we're going to be watching season 6, episode 5. The episode is entitled Willsmania, so let's just get right into it. Just quickly wanted to say too, similarly to the way that I released my part 1 videos, these videos are going to be coming out every other day. So, okay. That kind of, him like listening to music kind of reminds me of Diana listening to music and roller skating in the palace. Interesting mother-son parallel. Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, I like this one.
He's a Natalie Imbruglia fan. It's fine, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. Lying naked on the floor. It's so interesting seeing The Crown now in a more contemporary setting. Well, I mean, some people probably wouldn't really consider the 90s to be contemporary. It's a period piece if it takes place in the 90s, but still.
Do you have friends at school?
Of course. A question.
Why? You didn't.
Well, that's because William is cool and Charles was not. I love the way the ants function in The Crown. They're like concerned. Tell it like it is. Dang, at first glance, I really thought that picture looked like Emma Corrin.
I can only imagine what you must be going through. Please rest assured, all of us in B Block have your back. Andrew Hartley Potts.
Oh my gosh, I really hope these people are like genuinely nice to him and are his friends.
Especially Princess Diana. She says she was an angel, and I know you're an angel too. I haven't closed my picture. My friends tell me I am very pretty.
Dear William.
Oh.
You look so cute in the suit.
Oh my gosh.
Followed by a Thanksgiving service at Westminster Abbey, and then a lunch at the Royal Naval College.
Oh, are the butterflies a sign of Diana, maybe? Maybe being reminded of his mom.
A few years ago, my wife received some bad news, a diagnosis of leukemia. At the time, neither of us really allowed ourselves to take a step back, to take a moment to slow down, process what was really going on.
This is an episode about the importance of processing your emotion and grief.
William, keep smiling, darling.
3, 2, 1.
Wow, they did such a good job with casting. This guy really looks, to me, he looks a lot like William.
Here. No thanks. I thought it was champagne.
Can't wait for everyone to just go back to being normal. Parle at 2 o'clock.
Paw alert.
Albert II, King of the Belgians. Large glasses. Looks like a bank manager. His wife, Queen Paula. She's blonde, Italian.
Girl, I'm not gonna remember all of this. It's interesting to think about this too, because this is kind of like the era of the boy bands, like when 90s boy bands were super popular. So to see William kind of exalted in the same way, it's interesting.
And it's not as if I was given the best example to follow. The Duke of Edinburgh was hardly the most communicative or affectionate father to me. I'm afraid we don't do fathers and sons very well in this family.
At least they're showing like Charles is trying to make an effort with trying to communicate with his sons and like stop the cycle. Stop the generational trauma.
I said you could use my office.
Oh my gosh, all of his fan mail.
Would you like me to dispose of them?
Thank you.
Those poor girls and boys that spent all that time writing him fan mail.
Oh, I heard you broke the school record in swimming the 50 meters.
A junior record.
Well done.
He's trying. Sucks that the weather seems to be shit too. People are like, that's just UK weather.
It was agony.
At least you made the effort.
Yes, and he pushed it all back in my face.
Well, that's what being a teenager and a teenage boy is all about.
When can I see you?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yes. Prison of public opinion.
You know, I will say, over the course of the show, initially I was like, I don't know about Dominic West as Charles, but I think over time I've bought into him.
Planning a scheme to...
Harry is the fun brother, just in case you didn't get that. Wow, all of the posters.
To Mummy.
Oh my god, so sad, I can't.
You know he's lined up some official visits for us tomorrow.
Who?
Pa.
I'm still obsessed with Paw Alert.
Marry me, William. I love you. I'm just jealous. In the history of humankind, no one has ever screamed for someone with red hair.
Ginger Spice.
With his blushes and demure smile, the young prince sometimes seemed embarrassed by the limelight. But for
I want to know, if you're watching from the UK, do you remember Willsmania?
Hate the press. Hate the crowds.
Why did you tell us we're going somewhere alone, then put us in front of the people we hate most in the world?
I know, it's insufferable, but...
Yeah, these boys are definitely going to be very angry and jaded towards the press and the media.
I'm not the one who needs to endear myself. I'm not the one with the image problem.
Oh. That's a lot for William. Like, he just lost his mom, and he's really feeling the weight of just the public's eyes on him, and there's always this, like, daunting... I don't know if I would use the word ghost, but just this daunting idea that he's going to be king. I also feel like I've seen this picture before somewhere. He's kind of always having to negotiate like his personal life versus his public life.
Will you talk to him, Mummy? Sometimes it's easier when it's not the parent. You know how fond he is of you.
But isn't this precisely where a parent is most needed?
Oh, is Philip gonna talk to him? Matt Smith! Maybe he's gonna try and make right with William what he wasn't able to make right with his own son. God, that episode frickin' killed me when he was yelling at a young Charles. Oh my god, that was too much. That was really difficult to watch. I love these flashbacks we're getting to the previous seasons too. I love it. Very nostalgic. Oh. Oh my gosh, not the letters making me emotional. I like that this episode, it seems to be really centered on the idea of fathers and sons and the way that men deal with their emotions and how, depending on the time that they came up in, it's going to affect how they deal with their emotions. And at least, like I said earlier, at least it seems Charles is trying to break cycles.
No, you didn't actually drive the car, but you drove her into the arms of those that did. By making her so unhappy. By loving someone else.
I resent the accusation.
And with everything else you started to resent about me.
Uh-oh. Wow.
All those games of one-upmanship you and Mummy used to play, you always tried to outshine one another.
No one ever outshone your mother.
You think I'm just like her. And you hate me for it.
Damn, this is like a really intense, deep conversation. I don't even have anything like conducive to say. I'm just like, wow.
She still loved you. And only wanted to be in the south of France and not to be there when you threw a birthday party for the other one.
Damn, he is really angry. Whenever like we get to these episodes of The Crown though that are like so close to current times, I always do wonder in the back of my head like how accurate is this, and like how they were able to get all of their information. I feel like when I was watching earlier seasons of The Crown, I was more so willing to go with what they were showing me. But now that we're getting into more contemporary times, I don't know, I just have questions. How close are they to like the emotional truth of what actually was?
Claudia Schiffer, Cindy Crawford, and Naomi Campbell.
Ooh, the 90s supermodels.
One should never play chess with one's emotions. So, what's going on?
Oh, I like this. This is like really important. Good for Philip.
It's not everyone in the family. It's just you know who.
Oh, they're gonna bond. They're gonna bond now.
But maybe you're angry with your father because it's more acceptable than admitting who you're really angry with.
Oh, his mom.
So is it possible you're angry with her for having been all the things you're not? And is it possible you're angry with her because of her leaving you? What son can ever be angry with his mother?
Oh, he's gonna feel guilty if he's angry with his mom. That's a complicated emotion, being angry at someone that you're also simultaneously grieving.
And one day, when you're a father, and your own son is staring at you with murderous eyes, and you're praying for his forgiveness, as your father is currently praying for yours, and as I have on shamefully too few occasions, maybe you'll remember this chat.
This was like a very effective scene. I'm forgetting the actor's name. That's probably like the best scene he's had on The Crown since, because they don't really give Philip and Elizabeth too much to do anymore. So that was nice. That's a big deal for Philip to like be the one to help facilitate this patch up between Will and Charles. Getting a little emotional watching this, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe he's like giving Charles like this chance at a relationship with his son that he wasn't able to fully have with him. That's so nice. Oh my god. I feel like I'm getting some like level of closure that I felt about that episode when Matt Smith was yelling at a young Charles. That, oh my god, I cried throughout that entire episode. I think it was called like Paternal or I forget. It was season 2 though, and that was a hard watch. And I feel like after that episode, I always felt like a little prickly towards Philip. But after this episode, I'm like, wow, he's trying to make right. Alright, and some post-show thoughts. I thought this was a really solid episode. I like that thematically. This was a episode that was centered on grief, but also the importance in showing how men deal with their emotions. I think for the longest time in society, we didn't really allow men to be emotional. And even though I'm not British, I would imagine there's also like a cultural slant there as well, that in British culture, it seems from what I've watched that talking about your emotions and expressing your emotions wasn't particularly encouraged. But I like that in this episode they allowed their male characters to feel and process and talk about their emotions, not just independently, but also with each other. And especially in the context of a father and son relationship, but also like a son and grandfather relationship. That's the thing that I really liked about this episode, was the way that they utilized Prince Philip in the story. And I think, and I wonder if this is gonna be the case for a lot of these episodes now, there was kind of like this emotional payoff and sort of closure that you are rewarded with if you were watching the show from the very beginning. Like I kept mentioning throughout the episode, that episode in season 2 where Philip was so mean to Charles as a kid. That, oh my gosh. It's one of the best episodes of The Crown for me, but I'd also say that's like an episode that just emotionally wrecked me because I just felt so bad for this child. To see them kind of, in a way, flash back, not necessarily to that episode, but to flash back to moments in season 2 where we see Matt Smith again, kind of with the young Charles, to then now watching the current season with a grandfather, Philip, relating to his grandson. I don't know, it felt like Philip was trying to make right with Charles through his grandson. I don't know if that made any sense. I think it did. The whole conversation that William had with his dad was just complicated emotions. I felt bad. I felt bad for everyone. What do you even say? I didn't even know what to say during those scenes. But at the very least, it seems to be like a consistent character trait of Charles throughout the seasons is that he's very sensitive and he seems to be someone that is emotional. And throughout different periods of his life, he didn't really know how to process his emotions. But I think now that he's older here, it's nice to see him as a father, especially in this family's grief, trying to have an open relationship with his sons and trying to talk to them about their emotions and about their grief, even if William is not feeling particularly great about his dad. I think even if the emotions that you're feeling are not the most positive, if they're like angry emotions, if they're feelings of like resentment and sadness, that doesn't make them bad emotions. Those are all valid feelings to have. What would be worse is to hold it in and not allow yourself to feel. Like, that's definitely worse than airing your emotions out. And even though what William was saying to his dad was hurtful, that's the way he felt, and that's perfectly fine. I liked how this episode concluded with the two of them kind of coming together, especially William coming to his dad and hugging him and trying to start communicating with him, and then the grandfather watching from a distance. I was very moved. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid episode. All right, well, my question for you guys is, I want to know if you were alive during this time, especially if you were in the UK. I want to know if you remember what did they call this? Willsmania? I mean, I was very young at the time, but I do remember when William and Harry were like in their late teens, early 20s, and they were in the States. They would be like on the cover of like People magazine and Us Weekly, and they were kind of, well, I think in general, the royal family, they're really treated as like celebrity figures in America. But I kind of remember, especially with like William, he was kind of seen as like the heartthrob at the time. So yeah, let me know. What were your memories of that time? All right, well, that's about it for this video. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please turn on the notification bell so you know when a new video from me comes out, and comment down below your thoughts on this episode. Just want to plug a podcast that I co-host with my friend Angie. It's a podcast called Diva Dailies, where we deconstruct divas on film, TV, and in music. For the past 2 seasons, we've been solidly talking about music, but this past month in December, we've been talking about diva holiday movies. So if you want to hear my thoughts, our thoughts on different holiday movies, like A Diva's Christmas Carol, The Holiday, The Best Man Holiday, and well, I don't know when this video is coming out, but we most recently did episodes about Carol. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. It'll put you in the holiday mood. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, everything I said was just my own personal thoughts and all my humble opinion, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!